This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Hobo's Hollow. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, and since this is a 4X map, this map is available for PC only. Now let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome to Hobo's Hollow 4X. Enter the land that time forgot, where the weeds grow thick and the hobos roam free. There are 57 fields of various sizes and a selection of forestry plots to suit all of your logging needs. The map includes a selection of empty plots that are ideal for production placement or maybe starting a new farm. There are 8 sell points, sawmill, debris crusher, etc., and a starter farm with everything you need to get started in new farmer mode. Benefit from a custom growth calendar, which allows double cropping, plant a winter crop, and harvest in the next summer. If you are quick to plant again, you can harvest the same field in the autumn. Step back in time on Hobo's Hollow with your very own taste of rural USA. Have fun and happy farming. All right, with that, let's go ahead and jump on in. Now we are going to select the additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and that is all we're going to take a look at with respect to using mods for this map video. I did load this map up in farm manager mode, and when you do so, the starting farm is not there. The equipment is not there. So you start out owning no land, no equipment, and a complete blank slate as far as a map goes and a farm. In Farm Manager, you will be starting with the starting farm and some starting equipment and a field. Field 4, actually. Now, here we are. This is where we load on in when we start a career here on Hobo's Hollow. We're down here at a nice prime fishing spot. As you can see by this wonderful little signage. And if we continue down this little walking path, we will eventually make our way to our pickup truck, which is part of the vehicles that we own here at the start on New Farmer mode. So here we are. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map. This is a 4X map, so these fields are much, much larger than they would initially look just by looking at the PDA. You can see we have all of the standard crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the lands area, you'll see we start out by owning this plot of land, which includes Field 4. It is 12.54 acres in size and has a cost of $282,000 to buy. So the main farm is located right here. Our lane kind of loops up and around, and then we have this little Field 4 also associated with the farmland. Now, as far as other field sizes and prices, we're going to take a look at that here in a little bit, but just as a quick little kind of wet your whistle, Field 3 can be bought for $99,000. It is 4 acres in size. Field 2 is 5.5 acres at $124,000. And then, you know, if you like a little bit bigger fields, well, Field 57 is 114 acres in size and can be bought for $2.5 million. Now, as far as other possible building areas on the map, up here we have the main shop. This plot of land, which includes the main shop and several of the sell points. This is also a blank plot of land that is also available when you buy kind of all these other areas. That is $2 million. Then we have some more affordable areas right here beside a sell point. We have $63,000. There are 2 plots also right here beside it, $42,000 and $47,000 respectively. We have a couple plots over here, 3 acres at $68,000 and 3.2 acres at $72,000. We have a plot of land down here, $295,000 for 13 acres of land. We have a forest plot we could clear out and level off. So there are areas on the map that we could buy and either put down additional farms if we were playing this map in multiplayer. Since it is a 4X map, it is very well suited to multiplayer play. Or if maybe we didn't want to have our farm down here kind of in the southeast corner of the map, we wanted to have it maybe a bit more closer to the shop, we could start by owning some plots up here and build something out. Let's go ahead and take a look at that custom growth schedule. So as you can see, we have a custom crop counter. We can plant wheat, barley, canola, and oats in September, October, March, April, and May. And then we can harvest sometime between June and August. Now, what this means is if you are early to put your wheat, barley, oat, or canola in the ground in the autumn, then you could harvest that early in the summer and then have time to put down soybeans or cotton on that very same field, and then harvest soybeans and cotton into the autumn. And if you're lucky, flip that field one more time, plant wheat, barley, oat, or canola back into it in the autumn to then double crop the following year. Let's go ahead and take a look at our prices screen. And this map does indeed allow us to sell every single crop that we can grow here on Farming Simulator 22, including sugar beet cut. So we do get a full point with respect to being able to sell all of our products, animal outputs, and production elements, because as you can see, we also have multiple areas to sell our eggs, wool, and milk. And then we move on down to silage, hay, straw, and grass. We also have all of the base game production elements can be sold at least one sell point on the map. This map does not include any pre-placed production points, so all of the sell points you see listed here are indeed full sell points. Therefore, there isn't going to be a maximum capacity that you're going to be able to dump there before you fill it up. This map does not have, or at least not here on the prices screen, listing a bulk line point. Again, that's not that big of a deal. There are placeable bulk line points, and you can buy lime in pallets or big bags at the shop. We do have a debris crusher on the map pre-placed. So as I said, this map is going to get a full point with regard to having the ability to sell all of our base game crops, products, and animal outputs. If you take a look here at our starting equipment in new farmer mode, we own all of the starting equipment. None of it is leased. There are no animals at the start. We do have contracts on the map. And, well, and we do not own any production. There we go. We do not own any production chains on the map because there aren't any pre-placed, but there are areas to place them. So, again, this map is going to get a full point with that regard. Now, we're going to do something a little bit different in this video. I'm going to go ahead and drive to the main farm, where we will then do our farm tour. And then we're going to do our look at our starting equipment. And then we're going to do our aerial tour. Going to come down here to the main street, turn left. One of our sell points is right over here to our right. And you turn at this road right here, and then just past field 4 is going to be our lane. So there is field 4. Here's our drive. And this is going to loop us around then to our start farm. So we have our farmhouse where we do indeed have a sleep trigger. We have an easy shed with several of our machinery placed under that. We have an old rundown barn, additional pieces and components of our machinery. And then we have our farm silo, our base game farm silo with our dump and fill station right there. And to round out the main farm tour, we do have a water tank right here as a water fill point. All of these things can be sold, should we so wish, in new farmer mode. So the farm is completely customizable. So again, the map is going to get a full point with that regard. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. In new farmer mode, we start out with the New Holland T6 175 tractor, the John Deere 4755, and Massey Ferguson 3670 medium tractors. We have the Dutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H grain harvester. We have the 4090H grain header, and then we also have the 4090H header trailer associated with both of those. We have our 1986 pickup truck, which we have already used a little bit. The Welger DK115 trailer. We have the Rabe EG39 cultivator. The Nordstein HK25 plus NS 3030 seeder. We have the Agrosim Combat Plow 3 meter. We have the Breedall K105 fertilize and lime spreader. We have the Quickie Q3M front loader arms. We have a universal bucket, and then we have a pair of 750 kilogram front weights. Wow. So with that, let's go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to take a fly around the map, take a look at how the lands and the fields are laid out. And then we're going to come back to the shop, jump in our Mahindra, and drive around to all of the various sell points and other points of interest. We'll go ahead and leave the PDA up so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea as to where we are looking and where we are positioned on the map. Let's go ahead and just do a slow pan. 360 degrees. You can see from this point, the map is mostly flat with some rolling hills, at least at this point. I do believe the map gets a little bit hillier in the northwest section of the map, but as you can see, overall, the map's fields are fairly flat, but not flat as a pancake. And they also appear that they can be easily merged together, should you so wish to make some of these fields a little bit larger. Speaking of that, let's step back, because I did skip one little new aspect of our map videos, and that is taking a look at field calculator and Fleece farmland screens, just to get a general idea of the size of these fields and the size and cost of the buyable plots of land. So you see we start out by owning field 4, which is 0.66 hectares in size. I believe it is the smallest field on the map. Let's just go ahead and take a look real quick as we scan the field listings here. And then we have other fields which are much, much larger. Field 57 is 36 hectares in size. Field 48 is 26 hectares. Field 47 is 21. Field 46 is 10, and 45 is 10. Field 36 and 37 are 14 hectares apiece. So there are some pretty decent size plots of land. But if you wanted to, you could merge several of these fields together to make even larger fields. And then we have our farmland, and we can see our prices here. So again, the main farm, which includes field 4, is $282,000. We have, as far as lowest cost land, we have $99,000 for farmland 3, which includes field 3. $2.1 million for farmland 10, which includes field 10. $2.4 million for farmland 27. And then we get down here to some of the farmland that doesn't include actual fields. And we have little plots of land, 47,000, 42,000, 68,000. So there are some very affordable, smaller plots of land. But then the land can get rather expensive rather quick. Again, because we are talking about a 4X map. So 4 maps can be fit within the standard. 4 standard size maps can be fit within the boundaries of this particular map. That's what I'm trying to say. So one of our sell points, which is located right here, right by the main farm. And we'll get a little bit more altitude, and you can see For example, if you wanted to merge 11, 12, and 13, you could. You could also merge 18, 17, 51, 52, and 16. Again, if you really wanted to. So there's a lot of flexibility going on here. You can merge 14 and 53. Take some trees out. You can merge 6 and 5 together. Now, for anyone that didn't know how you can tell if a map is a 4x map or larger than a standard size map, and one of the big telltale items is going to be if you look at the coordinates at the bottom of your mini map. And as you can see, as we get closer and closer to the extreme southeast corner of the map, our coordinates are climbing. Right now we are 3,600 by 3,300. And as we get further and further to this corner, we're going to get much, much closer to the theoretical maximum boundary that is going to be 4098 by 4098. Standard size map, I believe the max boundary is going to be something like 2048 by 2048. It's 4096. That's what I need. That's what I'm meaning. So to come over here to field 55, we have another one of our sell points, and we're going to go through all of these on the ground when we get to our Mahindra. This one has 2 triggers, one for kind of production items and one for grains. We have our sawmill to sell our logs and wood chips, located right there. There's another large section where we have fields 40, 42, 41, and 39. All of these are large fields in their own regard, but if you wanted to buy all 4 plots, you could easily merge all 4 of these fields into a very, very large field, if that's kind of really what you're looking for. We have another sell point kind of tucked away over here behind these trees. The long access road to get to. And then we have a campsite sell point, which is going to be located over here. This is a nice little location if you just want to come and hang out for a little while and calm down, kind of at the lake's edge. So we have the sell point directly below there. Kind of park your car, walk around, and we have a little bit of a campground going on. You can walk down to the woods, to this little lake, do a little fishing, so forth. Now here is where the map starts to get a little bit hillier. Fields 48 and 57, I believe, are on a bit more of an incline than the rest of the map. And again, if you wanted to, you could really merge 48 and 57 together to make kind of a mega field. Because 48 is 65 acres in size, with 84 acres in its land area. And then field 57 is 89 acres in size, with 114 acres in its land area. We're lipping down here to another grain sell point. And then as we continue across, this is where we had those 3 buyable plots of land. So to the right of this gravel road, there are 2 buyable plots. And then to the left is 1 large buyable plot. So given the fact that this map does not have pre-placed production, you could buy any of those areas, and these are some pretty darn big areas, and put down your own production. So if we go back here to the lands, and you'll see where we are. We're located right here. So we have these 2 plots of land. And if we take something big, let's see what one of our biggest factories is going to be, I guess, this oil mill. Yep. And we can see we could place several oil mills here within this area of land, or I suppose the BGA, right? This BGA is probably the biggest hunk, biggest single placeable, and we could easily put a couple of those in here without too much issues, especially on this side of the road, right? Now, Hobos Hollow and Haggis, they are associated with a multiplayer group, and I have to say I probably would be remiss if I didn't mention this multiplayer group when talking about this map. This map was initially built for the Farmers Only Club multiplayer group. Now that is not, we kind of poke fun with the name, that is not a dating site. FarmersOnly.com is the dating site. Don't go there unless you're looking for, you know, a companion, let's say. But Farmers Only Club is a site where you can go and have a very realistic multiplayer gaming experience. It is based for PC players only. Sorry, console, but there are some very specialized mods that they are making use of in their service to provide a very, very interesting gameplay experience. So here we have the animal dealer, and this map was created for their members and for their particular gaming experience, and then they decided to bring it to the Giants Mod Hub for other players to experience in their own either single player or multiplayer experiences. So here we have our stone crusher, and then we have another grain sell point located right here. Here we have those plots of land. So we have one that's already set up with a pad, then we have another plot of land right next to it, and then there are 2 plots of land located right here where we have just grass. So lots of areas for you to build out either your own farms or place your own production elements. Here we are down at the shop. We have our shop trigger. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. And then around the side here, we do have our customized sell, repair, and trade triggers located right there. And then our vehicles are going to be spawning here on the other side of the shop. We do have a very large area for our vehicles to spawn in it, so we shouldn't have any issue whatsoever with respect to buying a whole bunch of large machinery at the shop without filling up the spawn point. With respect to large machinery, we do have a very nice area here to get out of the shop, so we shouldn't have any issues bringing large harvesters, headers, or other pieces of machinery out of the shop onto the roads. The roads overall are kind of a standard 2-lane road width, but there isn't really anything right up against the road, so if you turn off traffic, you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever, even driving some fairly large implements or wide implements down the road. So here we have this is our animal sell point at Holly's Pigs and other livestock available. So some of you who are fans of the channel have probably seen a preview video that I did on Hobo's Hollow about a month ago. Also did a couple live streams where we did some gameplay here on Hobo's Hollow. Again, that was using a pre-release build from the Farmers Only Club service. So here we have our fuel station. our stone crusher. And then we'll loop around. Are you lost? Are you making a U-turn there, dude? Loop around to our final grain sell point up here in this general complex. So it's located right there. The road here going off to our left is going to loop up and around to field 25, which is up over on the other side of that tree ridge line. I love fields. I really do. I love fields like that that are kind of tucked away off in the corner. You can get to them, you go through some trees, and then next thing you know, it just opens up and you've got this big open area. And while you're back there working field 27, you're off in your own little world, right? You don't see anybody, you don't see anything else. You just see trees and you and the field. Perfect opportunity for you to just sit there and kind of sit, reflect, and think about life. At least that's the way I look at it. Let's go ahead and just kind of do a reverse of how we did our fly around. And just for fun, I'll do a little in-cab driving. So we kind of just take a look at the lay of the land. Field 19 is on the other side of our kind of tree line right there. Fields 20 and 21 are located to our right. They can be merged just like so many other areas on this map. And let's do a little bit of talking about our rating system and how this map fares. Again, as far as production built in or areas set aside for the placement as such, we're going to give the map a full point because while we do not have production built in, there isn't a BGA or anything like that. There are several areas set aside for the placement of production. One has a concrete pad there, others are just grass, but for the most part, they are fairly flat in their terrain and are ripe and ready for you to place things down. So we are going to give it a full point with regard to that. Does the map include sell points for all of our growable products, producible products, and animal outputs? And it does indeed. So we are going to give the map a full point on that regard. I don't really know why so many maps to date have fallen short of that one very specific metric. But it is a joy to see when maps actually do allow you to sell everything that you can actually create without the need of putting anything else down. Can the farm be fully customizable and on new farmer mode? Yes, you can. You can sell anything and everything that is at the starting farm. And on farm manager mode in start from scratch, the farm is completely ready for you to take over and build out however you should so wish. Or should you decide, you can also kind of build out your own farm at one of the other possible kind of farm building areas. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and just kind of take this road up and around my field 57 and 48. It's going to take us around field 45 and 33, kind of through the river again, as opposed to just doubling back and around. You look at the forest, it's just not, grass or forest floor. We have a decent mix of foliage and bushes and weeds and other plants under the forest, under the trees. Really helps give a sense of life to these forested areas when you have all of those aspects. So the map is very well done. I really like how it ebbs and flows. I like how the fields are laid out, how the forest areas are. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. and ground textures using the new texture technique. We haven't looked at the ground textures yet, but we have looked at the buildings, or at least I've looked at the buildings in a pre-review of the map before I recorded this video, and I can tell you that they're all Elm Creek buildings. They're all Farming Simulator 22 buildings. So yes, they are indeed using those new techniques. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ground textures. And we have basically the same ground textures that we would have in Elm Creek. As far as trees go, we have all of the American trees from Elm Creek, and the plants are also all of those from Elm Creek. So we are going to give the map a full point on that regard also. We made our way back to the main road, and like I said, where we were is just over there to the left, the other side of fields 33, 45, and a little bit of the tree line. We have some smaller fields as we get closer to where our main farm is. We have some smaller fields in field 31 over here, as well as fields 29 and 30. They are fairly flat, but again, they can be easily merged if you buy all 3 plots of that land. You can easily merge all 3 of those fields together, should you so wish. Here we have River Bend Grain, another grain sell point. Or not River Bend, Reverend Grain. We have our sell point located right there. And then we're going to loop back around because we have a long drive over to the campsite. Let's get to that sell point. This is also the road you're going to need to take to get to fields like 35, 36, which is going to be up here on our left. So here we have field 36. Field 37 is coming up. Located right there. Overall, the fields look fairly helper friendly. There does seem to be a fairly large buffer, respectively, between the field's edge and kind of a tree line or other obstacles. And then here we are coming around to the campsite sell point. And as I said, if you ever get a chance on this map, definitely come down here and just take a little stroll up here to the campground, and then down to the river's edge. This map does not include collectibles, so you don't have to worry about running around and trying to find those. But if you just afford me a few moments of time to make our way down to the river's edge. And then we just open up to this wonderful lake. Like I said, just absolutely stunning map. Stunning views. Wouldn't surprise me if players just find themselves just stopping and looking around and kind of admiring the finer things in life as opposed to the hustle and bustle of trying to get your virtual crops in or out of the ground. Speaking of hustle and bustle, let's hurry on up to the next sell point. So we're going to double back to where we broke off from the main road, and then we're going to turn right. We're not going to turn right onto the road. We're going to turn right because this gravel road forked back there, and we need to head over down on the other, kind of the other leg of the fork. I think given the overall lay of the fields, you shouldn't have too much issue with kind of maybe under horsepower specking your tractors as opposed to your implements. A little bumpy there. A little bumpy. Maybe we need some more weight. Junk in the trunk of our Mahindra. So here's where the road forks, and now we're going to go this way up to the other set of sell points. Down here on the other side of field 36. We have some other large fields. Field 39 to our left. And 36 to our right. I'm curious what you all think about Hobo's Hollow. I know some of you have been over at Farmers Only Club participating in their game servers and have already had a chance to experience the Hobo's Hollow edit over at farmersonly.club. So here we have Hobo's Farm Supplies by Hobo's Hollow, Idaho. We have our grain dump and our pallet dump point. We also have a sell point for our hay, straw, and grass. Silage also. And just a few more areas of interest to hit on our kind of driving tour of the map. We have the grain sell point right next to the main farm. Then we have the sawmill, and then the final sell point down by field 55. Now, with respect to, are the player triggers and interactive areas clearly marked? Yes, they are. In my opinion, they are clearly marked. You shouldn't have any issue trying to figure out where you're going to be dumping your product, where you can sell, where you can't sell things. So we're going to give the map a full point on that regard. And if you have been keeping tabs, everybody, that means that, well, as you have probably already seen on the thumbnail, welcome to our second 5 out of 5 map for Farming Simulator 22. Congratulations, Hobo's Hollow. So over here to our right, we had a little bit of a glimpse of it. We have the other, kind of the other lake. This is exactly where our pickup truck was at the very start of the game. Our sell point right here. It is the Circle C Saloon. The stump station is right there to the side. And then right down the road we have our sawmill and then our final sell point. So yeah, surprising we have gone this far into Farm Sim 22 and have only been able to award 2 maps 5 out of 5. I think personally the ratings aren't that rough. I mean, do you have production, or do you have places set aside for production? Farm Sim 22 introduced production. So is the map really geared toward Farm Sim 22 and all of its features? That's one of the metrics. Does it have production, and can you put production down easily enough? Can you sell everything you can make on the map? You would think that would be a prerequisite, but apparently not. With Farm Sim 19, we had the create your own farm concept. So back there we had our sawmill, our log, and wood chip sell point. And with the create your own farm concept, well, we had the ability to place buildings and remove buildings from farms. So can your farms be customized? It's not new in Farm Sim 22. It's just much more developed and feature rich, which with respect to the build mode. But can you customize your farms? Again, what should be a core element of Farm Sim at this point, does the map let you customize your farms? Yes or no? So there we have our grain sell point, our product sell point down here at Bubba Gump Farm Shop. Are we using new textures and new texturing techniques, or are we bringing forward stuff from Farm Sim past? That is the next metric, and this map is indeed using those new techniques and those new textures, and are things clearly marked so the player is not struggling to find where to sell or pick up various items. Those are the 5 metrics. Shouldn't be that hard to hit a 5 out of 5. Yet so far, we've only had 2 maps, with this one being one of them. So guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is Hobo's Hollow on your next list of maps to be played? And until next time, happy farming.